Thanks, Mark. Right. So my story started last year when I was looking at co-working and interesting people that I could collaborate with. And one of the things I discovered was Melbourne had a lot of unconferences on the go that year, one of which was Barcamp in September. I was looking through the topics that were listed, and I saw this word Arduino, which I didn't know about or I hadn't heard of before. Did a Google search. One of the first hits I got was Toys Down Under, which made me think, what am I dealing with here? Is this some kind of inflatable marital aid? And pictures of Latin lovers flashed past my mind. Luckily, that wasn't what Arduino was. Arduino is an open source prototyping platform specifically designed for artists and people without a lot of technical background to get into and build interactive objects that they can interact with. So if you go to the Arduino site, you'll see lots of material. This is one of the main boards that you'll see. USB port, main controller, and some pins that you can connect various things to. This schematic here shows connecting an LED into the Arduino board, and then we're going to load effectively the hello world of Arduino onto it, which is blink. We're going to get the LED to blink. So the code that's going to come up in a minute is a very C-like code. The main structures you'll see, although I'm standing over the top of it, is the setup routine, which runs once when you power up the Arduino, and then a loop that runs down off the page until you power the device off. So I went back to Toys Down Under, bought myself a starter kit, which cost me about $60 Australian, and went along to Barcamp, and with the help of the folks there, got my Arduino saying hello world with its flashing LED. So it's pretty easy to get into, so I quite like that. It's open source hardware in that the designs are actually available for any manufacturer to produce. So lots of people producing Arduino boards or devices that connect to them. So lots of variety there, which opens the marketplace, which is nice. All based on AVR chips from Atmel. So a couple of different form factors. You'll see this one, which is on the board that I showed before, which looks like this. And also a surface mount, smaller version. Different memory footprints, different processor powers, but all of them have fairly common features. So they have a USB port or other connection to load code onto the microcontroller, digital pins for input and output, analog pins for input, a few other things that you'll see pretty much on any board. It's just that the profiles change. So I've got a couple of other examples of different ones. This is an Arduino Pro, again with a surface mount. This is a tiny little Nano, so very small profile on that. And this one is a Arduino Mega, which has a lot more ports that you can connect to, slightly faster processor. So lots of variety there, which is good. This is a lily pad Arduino, which you can actually sew into clothing or into art sculptures and so on. Here's an example on a piece of cloth where conductive thread is used to power an LED and battery used to run that. So you can have wearable art connected with electronics. This is an Arduino kit that you actually construct yourself. So you get the blank board, you buy a kit of components that you solder in, and then you're up and running with your Arduino, which saves you a bit of money. Again, part of it being open source hardware. Some of the manufacturers have created more interesting kits. So this has a little touch pad of buttons, touch screen, Arduino Mega, and then a lithium battery backpack. And it's essentially a portable computing device that you can hold in the palm of your hand and load your own code onto. So because it's all open, that encourages communities to get together and work on this stuff. So this is our local Melbourne connected hackerspace. And so we're working on Arduino-based projects. People come together, work on the code, work on hardware designs around it. One of the things we're working on is the ICO router project. Andy's got the router there. So what we've done is put a Zigbee radio device in here, hacked into the router itself, got an Arduino connected to that as well. And what we can do is basically talk out to a sensor network of devices. And so here's the Arduino, talking to the sensor network of devices that can radio sensor data back to the router up to the internet. And then we can send commands back down to these nodes and get devices to turn on and off. So that's a project being run here in Melbourne. One of my personal projects at the moment is a robot that I'm working on. So I've got a couple of infrared beacon towers, one on the robot, one placed somewhere else. The robot basically navigates to the beacon and directs its path to it. So I've got some ideas with where I want to take that. On the journey, I've read some really interesting books. One book that's just been released recently by a couple of Melbourne guys, Jonathan Oxer and Hugh Blemmings. Lots of cool projects in it. Encourage you to get into Arduino. It's a really cool platform. Come join us. Thanks.